Welcome to Part 4 of the Advanced AI Behavior System series in Unreal Engine 5. In this video, we are going to arm our enemy guard. We will take the rifle setup from our third-person character, attach it to the enemy hand socket, reuse the aiming animation logic, create a clean arm enemy function, and make the guard start the game with a visible rifle and armed pose. Before starting this advanced series, I highly recommend watching the Basic AI Blueprint series first, especially the 2 weapon system videos, because we are reusing that setup here instead of rebuilding everything from zero. So if you want more advanced Unreal Engine AI tutorials like this, join the channel, hit subscribe, and let us jump in. In this episode, we're going to arm our enemy. And good news, this is not going to be one of those scary brain-melting episodes. We already did most of the hard work in the previous weapon system videos, so here we are mostly going to reuse that setup and move it into our enemy character. First, open the content drawer, then go to the third-person folder, open the blueprints folder, and open BP third-person character. Inside this character, we already have a rifle mesh from the previous weapon system. So instead of creating everything again from zero, we are going to borrow the rifle mesh and later also copy some of the weapon logic from this character into our enemy. This is exactly why building clean, reusable systems is useful. You do the hard work once, then later you can steal from your own project like a professional criminal, but legally. Before we continue, make sure you watched the previous weapon system videos from this series. The first one is Unreal Engine 5 weapon system from scratch, pickup and equip. And the second one is Unreal Engine 5 weapon system, aiming retarget blend upper body and switch cameras. I will put links to both videos in the description, because in this episode we are using the same weapon setup as our starting point. Now, inside BP third-person character, go to the viewport and click on the rifle component. In the details panel, enable visibility so we can actually see the rifle in the viewport. In the player character, we made this rifle invisible by default because it only becomes visible after the player picks it up. But for the enemy, we want the weapon already attached to his hand. So for now, we need to see exactly where it is and how it is positioned. With the rifle selected, copy this component. Now go back to the root content folder, open the AI folder, and open BP Enemy Guard 2, or whatever enemy blueprint you are using for this advanced AI series. Inside the enemy blueprint, go to the viewport. Now paste the rifle component here. If the rifle is not placed under the mesh component automatically, drag it and drop it onto the mesh component manually. This part matters because the rifle must follow the enemy skeleton. If it is not attached to the mesh, the enemy will walk away and the rifle will just sit there like it quit the job. After the rifle is attached under the mesh component, select the rifle and go to the parent socket setting. Here, choose hand right, exactly like we used in the third-person character. This socket tells Unreal which bone or socket should hold the rifle. So instead of trying to manually follow the hand every frame, the weapon simply becomes attached to the correct hand socket. Now we need to copy the transform from the player character, because the rifle was already positioned correctly there. Go back to BP third-person character, select the rifle, and copy the location from the details panel. Then return to BP Enemy Guard 2, select the rifle, and paste that location. Now do the same thing for rotation. Go back to BP third-person character, copy the rifle rotation, then return to the enemy blueprint and paste the rotation there. And now the enemy has the rifle in his hand. At this point, we have only moved the visual part of the weapon. So the enemy is holding a gun, but he does not really know what to do with it yet. Basically, he looks dangerous, but his brain is still empty. So next, we need to bring over the weapon logic from BP third-person character and adapt it for BP Enemy Guard 2. Now that the rifle is visually attached to the enemy, we need to bring in a little bit of logic from our player character. So go back to BP third-person character, open the event graph, zoom out, and look for the enhanced input action IA aiming logic. This is the aiming setup we created before for the player. At the end of this aiming logic, you can see that we get the animation instance, cast it to ABP unarmed, and then set isAiming to true. If you remember from the previous video, isAiming is a boolean variable inside the animation blueprint. When this value becomes true, the animation blueprint knows that it should show the aiming pose instead of the normal relaxed pose. So basically, this boolean is like telling the character, "Hey, stop acting casual, you have a weapon now, time to look dangerous." From this logic, copy the getAnim instance node, the cast to ABP unarmed node, and the set isAiming node. But do not copy the mesh reference node from the player character. The reason is simple. That mesh node belongs to BP third person character. It is the player mesh. Inside the enemy blueprint, we need to get the animation instance from the enemy mesh instead. So copying the player mesh node would just create extra cleanup work for us. We are not here to collect garbage nodes like souvenirs. Now go back to BP enemy guard 2. Before we paste the logic, create a new boolean variable and name it armed. We will use this variable to control whether this enemy is armed or not. Right now we are arming the enemy, but later if we want to disarm him, switch weapons, or create different enemy types, this variable gives us a clean control point. Now go to the functions section and create a new function. Name this function armEnemy. This function will be responsible for preparing the enemy weapon state. For now, it will turn the enemy into an armed character and tell the animation blueprint to use the aiming pose. Inside the armEnemy function, paste the logic we copied from BP third person character. So now we have the same animation communication setup, but inside the enemy blueprint instead of the player blueprint. Now first, compile and save the blueprint just to make sure Unreal is happy with everything before we continue. Unreal blueprints can sometimes act like they did not hear you the first time, so compiling here is a good habit. Next, click on the armed boolean variable and set its default value to true. This means when the enemy starts the game, he will already be armed by default. Later, if you want to create an unarmed version of the same enemy, you can simply turn this off instead of rebuilding the whole setup. Now go back inside the armEnemy function. Drag the armed variable into the graph and place it near the function entry. Choose getArmed because we only want to read its current value. Then hold the B key on the keyboard and click in the graph to create a branch node. Connect the function entry execution pin to the branch and connect armed into the condition pin of the branch. This branch is now our decision point. If armed is true, the enemy should use the armed aiming pose and show the rifle. If armed is false, the enemy should stop aiming and hide the rifle. Nice and clean, no drama. Now drag the mesh component into the graph. From the mesh node, connect it to getAnim instance. This time, we are getting the animation instance from the enemy mesh, not from the player character. That is important because this function lives inside BP enemy guard 2, so everything should talk to the enemy character. Now connect the true execution output from the branch to the cast to ABP unarmed node. The return value from getAnim instance should be connected to the object input of the cast. Then connect the cast output to set isAiming and set isAiming to true. So when the enemy is armed, we tell the animation blueprint to use the aiming pose. Basically, this is the moment where the guard goes from mall security mode to actual threat mode. Now let us also handle the false side because clean logic should work both ways. Copy the cast to ABP unarmed node and the set isAiming node from the true side, then paste them under the first setup. Connect the false execution output from the branch to this second cast. Again, connect the return value from getAnim instance to the object input of the cast. Now in this second set isAiming node, set isAiming to false. This means if armed is false, the animation blueprint will stop using the aiming pose. Next, we need to handle the rifle visibility too. Drag the rifle skeletal mesh component into the graph. From it, search for set visibility. We need one set visibility node for the armed path and another one for the unarmed path. For the armed path, connect it after set is aiming true and set new visibility to true. This means when the enemy is armed, the rifle becomes visible. For the unarmed path, connect the second set visibility node after set is aiming false and set new visibility to false. This means when the enemy is not armed, the rifle will be hidden. Now the function is doing two jobs at the same time. It updates the animation state and it also updates the weapon visibility. That keeps the enemy state consistent. No invisible rifle, no aiming with empty hands, no weird game logic crime scene. Last part, go back to the event graph. Drag the arm enemy function into the graph and place it next to event begin play. Connect event begin play to arm enemy. And that is it. When the enemy starts the game, this function runs automatically, checks if the enemy is armed, updates the animation blueprint, and shows the rifle. Now everything should be ready. Let us test the game and see if our guard is walking around with the gun and using the aiming pose properly. Now hit the play button and voila! As you can see, our enemy guard now has the rifle in his hand and he is moving around with the armed pose. So in this episode, we did not build a huge new system from scratch. Instead, we reused the weapon setup we already created, attached the rifle to the enemy, connected the animation blueprint logic, and made the enemy start the game as an armed guard. This is exactly how you should build game systems. Do not rebuild the same thing again and again. Build it once, then reuse it smartly. In the next videos, we will keep pushing this enemy system forward. We will talk about enemy health, which we already covered in the previous series, but we will quickly review it and connect it properly to this advanced AI setup. After that, we will move into environment query system, then player health, player death, ragdoll, and finally, the enemy shooting back at the player. That last part is where this AI starts to feel much more like an actual threat instead of just a very serious guy walking around with a rifle. If you want more videos like this, you can join the channel, use the super thanks button, like the video, and subscribe. Also, do not forget to comment below and let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.